There are a couple ways that we can transform a 2D shape into a 3D form. One of those is perspective, like I mentioned in the previous video. In this case, the lines you draw would indicate depth. The easiest example, and one that many of us learned as kids, is changing a square into a cube. Transforming shapes like triangles into cones or rectangles into cylinders is only a matter of rounding out the bottom edge in the case of a cone, and both top and bottom edges in the case of the cylinder. The other way depends wholly on value. This is where your value charts come into play. With value, you indicate the direction that the light is coming from and how it falls upon an object. This light creates values for highlights, core shadows, which is the darkest shadow on the object, cast shadow, that's the shadow that's cast on the surface the object is sitting on, and reflected light, the light that bounces up from the surface the object is sitting on and back onto the object. All of these things put together give the illusion that this object is not two-dimensional, but has depth, and our minds will believe that it is a three-dimensional object, even though it's drawn on a two-dimensional surface. By using our value charts, we can eyeball our objects and compare them to our charts and be able to tell which value needs to go onto our drawings. That highlight in very bright light, for example, is a 0. That core shadow can be a 7 or 8, depending on the light source. It's never really as dark as a 10 because of other ambient lighting in the room or even reflected light. So now you have a basic idea of how to change shape to form and how value is so very important to this. By being observant and with the help of your value chart, you'll start to become very aware of this. So in the next video, we'll get into setting up for your project. Your disposable items should be dry by now, so let's move on.